Yo, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, good. Let me
So
see.
you're down in Florida now, man?
Yeah, I live. I currently live in Florida right now. I've been in Florida off and on for about 2 years now.
Oh, cool, cool. So what made you decide to go down there permanently?
Man, I want to train with the best people, and so like I know everybody, everybody that's like high level is training in Florida, and so like that's like I just decided to make that switch so I could always train with the best grapplers.
And how did you settle on Fight Sports?
How did I what?
How did you settle on that gym, Fight Sports?
Man, it was the first month, I'm not gonna lie, was like really hard. Like everybody was like coming at me like to see like where I was level at. Like it was tough. But after that first month, people saw that like I come back and I train hard. So like now like everybody accepts me. I'm just a part of the team.
Yeah, but what made you pick that gym?
Oh man, like I just had an opportunity. Like I had someone gave me an opportunity to go train, and they were like, "You should check out Fight Sports." And then I went, and like after like the first day I went in, I was like, "Man, I don't want to be nowhere else. I just want to train here." So like that's where I was like gonna stay.
So what is the training like there as far as what you take part in?
Man, pro training is tough. Like if you're not 100% or you're not really a competitor, you should probably not do pro training because like everybody comes to train hard and it's tough. Like there's no easy roles and you can't take breaks.
And who runs the pro training there, Cyborg?
Yeah, usually Cyborg. If he's not traveling for like business or seminars, then it's one of our other professors. But like or Wagner. Wagner teaches a lot too. It just depends. We always have a lot of like different coaches.
Hmm. So how do you feel your game has changed since going there?
Man, I would say I'm more technical, and I like anybody that trains some fight sports. You're gonna learn how to do pressure because everybody uses pressure. Like that's probably like fight sports is known to bring a lot of pressure.
Hmm. So you think that maybe your top game has improved then?
Yeah, like I like to like when I first came, I was a guard player. Like I didn't like to wrestle. I didn't like to do anything, just straight guard. But like Cyborg, like it was like maybe like a couple months I was in. Cyborg like told me he was like, "Hey, come here," and so I walked over there, and he's like, "Man, you have a really good guard, but if you can't take nobody down, you suck." And so he was like, "For the next month, I don't want you pulling guard. You're gonna stand with everybody you roll with." And like I was like, "All right." And so I was getting slammed, took down for a straight month, but it made me better because like then I was like, I can play top and bottom now. It doesn't matter where it goes.
Yeah, I think Cyborg's improved his wrestling a lot, maybe over the last few
And
years.
yeah, we have on Tuesdays and Thursdays our no-gi classes. Like the first like 30 minutes is wrestling. Like we do a lot of wrestling first. We have our coach Manuel. He's a really high level wrestling coach, and so we have to do wrestling. And like even the rolls, we start the rolls like the first 3 minutes is no pulling. You have to wrestle at least 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's why he's kind of been able to start winning everything again.
And
It's because of his
like and
wrestling.
when he rolls too, he's like everything he does. Like he's like so smart. Like Cyborg, like his mood doesn't change. Like he always talks about like being a sniper. So like maybe like he looks like he's not really trying or he's letting you push him or whatever, and then like you start letting your guard down, and then it's like this, and then he snaps, and then he just takes you down or he does something, and you don't even think about it because he put you in that move a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Mm.
He's man, really technical.
Yeah, I think after maybe he, had those matches with Gordon Ryan, I think he decided maybe to change his game up a little bit, perhaps.
No, for sure. And like I don't know, like he's still getting better. Like he's like I don't understand it. Like he's getting older but better at the same time. It doesn't make sense. Like because it's not so much like he's so strong or so fast. I mean, he's really strong, really athletic, but he understands the game from the start. The timer starts to when it ends. Like he's playing the game the whole time. You know what I mean? Depending on who you are.
And right, so what has he kind of instructed you to do as someone who's trying to be a competitor?
Man, to me, like everybody's different. He always everybody has different styles, so he doesn't force like one thing on everybody. But for me personally, he just tells me to like slow down, and like sometimes when I compete, or like when I'm in like really like sometimes I get really emotional when I'm competing, and so like instead of being technical like I usually am, my emotions come out, and then I start like going really hard without thinking. And he's like, man, slow down, like you have a lot of heart, but heart doesn't win you the tough matches. You have to have the mindset too. And so like he always talks about the mindset, a lot about the mindset.
And how much competing have you been doing since you went there?
Man, I've been competing more, but I haven't been competing like I should. Like I need to be doing like two tournaments a month at least. But I haven't really been doing that. I've only been doing the big ones like Nogi Worlds, Pans, like because like man, it's a lot of money, like $1,000 just for one travel or whatever. So as I'm picking and choosing where I want to go.
So do you have like any goals in mind that you're trying to do for maybe this year? Or?
Man, win everything. That's always the goal, to win everything. And like, and even if I don't, like, even just being like, just being on the podium with the people that are winning everything is good, because that means like I'm with them. You know what I mean? Like I can hang with them, I can compete with them. And so I like even if I don't win it, but I'm there with them, that's fine too, because at least I know I'm up there. You know what I mean?
Do you find yourself like maybe doing things more effectively when you come back here at Oklahoma and training with some people?
Yeah, I'd like it's different. Like our school is super competitive, so like it's hard to like push the pace on certain people when I go back home, because they're not competitors. So I gotta slow down or play a different game, because like it's just like, you know what I mean? It's two different worlds. You know, I come from a competitive school going to a school that's not too competitive, so it's like it's hard to like push the pace on people that are not like doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, like they're still really good. Like I still really, when I go back home, I still get like really good roles. Like Hunter, he still beats me up. James, he still beats me up. Like those guys, they kill me all the time.
Yeah. So are they, as a competitor though, as someone who's training regularly with a big gym like that, do you feel like?
Wait, what did you say? Sorry.
As a competitor, someone who's training a big gym like that with a lot of high level competitors, do you feel different when you come back to Oklahoma?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like the timing, like it's just different, because like when you're in like pro training and stuff, like you have to be bringing your A game. You have to be playing like you're in a competition every time you're training. And then when you go back home, people don't have the competitive mindset. And so like they don't understand, like maybe I pull or whatever, or I take you down, it's 2 points. And then like you're losing 2-0, so you need to like maybe try to sweep me or back, but you're not doing that. So it's like it like defeats the purpose a little bit. You know what I mean? Like they don't understand the competition mindset, not everybody.
So when you're rolling with some of those guys at Fight Sports, like do you roll a Cyborg a lot, or a Wagner?
I only roll with Cyborg if he wants to beat me up. Like maybe because he's too big. But sometimes like I'll be talking to him or mess around with him, and then we'll roll or whatever. But like when we do roll, like he kills me, but like he teaches me too. Like he's like playing with me, letting me work, and then he takes me down or whatever. But he'll smash me, and then he'll tell me what I did wrong. So I'm still learning even when I roll with him.
So who are some of the guys that you train with that maybe people may not know, or maybe even do know?
Man, at Fight Sports, every belt level is good. Like we have like good people all the time, and like one of my main training partners, he's a brown belt. His name is Joao Costa, and like he's like, I think he's won, like he's had like 5 matches on Fight to Win, and he's won every match. And like he's like one of my main training partners. Like we train pro training, we drill after, then a couple hours later we work out. Like he's always like pushing me. Like he's always like he's keeping me up on that level. Like he's like, you want to be a world champion? I'm like he doesn't ever let me be like lazy. You know what I mean? So like we could do like sometimes we work out 6 hours a day. Like he's always pushing me. Like that's probably one of my best training partners.
And so have you been Do you find yourself watching more grappling or more MMA?
Man, I mean, I watch both, but it just depends. Like, if there's a fighter I like to watch, then I'll watch it. But like jiu-jitsu also is like the same way. Like if there's like high level like grapplers that I like to watch, I'll watch them. But I don't like. I try to balance it. Like, I don't try to watch too much jiu-jitsu because I want to balance my life out to where, like, I don't know, like, you can get burned out, you know what I mean? So, like, I train hard and do what I need to do and I study. But when I go home, I try to, like, leave jiu-jitsu at the gym, you know what I mean? Because it helps me. It helps me come the next day fresh.
So you don't prefer not to watch a lot of it?
Not a lot. I don't watch a lot. I watch, like, if I'm studying, like, maybe I have a competition, I study a lot, or, like, I'm working on something, I'm studying, but I'm not trying to watch too much because I don't like the scale to go over where I'm not happy to go to the gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what do you feel like since going there? What do you feel like some of your, maybe like your better accomplishments have been since going to Florida?
Probably my best accomplishment is getting third at Pens. That's probably the best. Like, I think I had 5 or 6 matches, and like, that was probably like one of those things, like, man, I made it to that level with other people. And like, it really, like, I wasn't happy to get third, but I was happy that, like, okay, now I'm like on that, like, I can hang with the best, you know what I mean? And so that was my good.
Now, are they structuring your training at your gym, or how's it kind of work there?
What do you mean, to like me or to like everybody?
Maybe everyone in general. How structured is it?
Yeah, it depends. Like, if you're a competitor, like, competitors usually train in the mornings, and more people that are working or something, they train at nights. You know what I mean? But like usually, like, if you're a competitor, it's like different because you have to go to workouts and then you have to train. And like, if you're missing training, then you're not a competitor. You know what I mean? So like, they demand more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I find it interesting to kind of look at what some of the gyms are doing, you know, and how they're working with their pros. I know it's different from place to place and even country to country. So I was kind of wondering kind of how yours worked, or if you structured it as far as like how much you're doing strength training, how much you're doing jiu-jitsu, that kind of thing.
Usually how, like, for me, well, I mean, every competitor, we usually do 3 days of strength training a week, like Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Pro training Monday through Fridays. But like, for me, like, I do my strength training, I do my pro training, and then I usually drill like maybe an hour or 2 hours, depending on like how I'm feeling. Like, if my body's like hurting, I don't train because like I don't want to hurt myself. And so like, but I'm usually training at least 4 to 5 hours a day, depending on how I feel. But I only do one hard session. I don't train hard like 3 sessions because it's pointless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I can see what you're saying. Of a competitor now.
What's up?
No,
it went out a little bit.
How much, you know, I was kind of seeing, because you're trying to be more of a competitor now, how much are you dedicating to it in comparison to like when you were here?
Man, a lot. Like, it's a lifestyle. Like I felt like even like this year from when I was last year is like totally different. Like, I'm not only am I like training all the time, like now I'm changing my diet up. I'm doing a lot more like I'm doing stuff. Like, people think it's just training, but the training, like, the days of just training, that's over with. Like, you need to be like working out, you need to be eating right, you need to be like doing everything right if you want to be an actual athlete, you know what I mean? And so I've done a lot more. And I recently, maybe like actually just last week, I recently just started boxing because, like, man, I hear all the boxers have the best cardio. So I'm like, man, I want my cardio to be up there. So I started boxing more.
Yeah, boxing's kind of old school, you know, just kind of running. And
my dad used to box. That's why, like, that's kind of why I like it. My dad used to box when he was in college, and I'm like, well, like, I might as well add something else to my game.
Yeah, boxing, it's not really there's nothing fancy to it. you know,
No, for sure.
just jumping rope and running and doing kind of stuff that everyone knows.
Exactly. But I mean,
But they don't like
man,
to do it, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
I was training today. Like I had pro training, then I had wrestling. Like we did some wrestling drills, and then like I ate my meal, and then I went to boxing, and like we did like an hour and a half of boxing, and like my abs were hurting just from hitting the bag. Like I never felt that, and like I was like, man, this is like this. I'm definitely doing something right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll wear you out. It's just a different kind of training. But
yeah, it's really good.
I think it's more geared to condition, you know.
For sure, for sure.
You know, most people don't like running or jumping rope or
exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of boring, but that's why those guys are good at it, you know. And even a lot of the guys, you know, that in MMA, like Michael Bisping and some of those guys who were known for having good cardio, were kind of avid runners. Diaz, bro,
exactly.
People like that, yeah.
And I like Nate Diaz, and Nate Diaz boxes a lot. Yeah, for real.
Is he gonna come back and fight?
Man, I hope so. At least once. I wish he would have fight at least once. Or his brother. I'd like to see his brother, but I think his brother's done for.
Yeah. So, what are some fights that you've watched recently? Do you remember any?
UFC?
Yeah, just any fights in general.
I watched the Gilbert Burns one, the Gilbert Burns versus Usman, and like I was going for Gilbert because he trains at Fight Sports, and like it was a pretty good fight. I thought he was gonna finish him, and then he almost finished him, and then he let him get his bearings back, and then Usman just started picking him apart. But it was a good fight.
Yeah, I think Usman's pretty underrated, you know. He's
for sure.
He's obviously really good.
Sure. I think he's gonna fight Jorge next.
Yeah, maybe Jorge.
They're talking about it. I don't know if they're gonna fight.
I'd like to see him fight maybe Colby or GSP, but I guess
you think he's gonna fight
Jorge.
GSP?
No, I'm just saying that's what I'd like to see. I don't think it'll happen, but that's what I'd like to see.
GSP's probably what, like 40 now?
Yeah. But, you know, he finds a way to do stuff, so who knows if he's got another one in him or not. I don't know.
For sure. Cyborg's 40 and still competing with 20 people, 22, 23. So you can do it, but it depends on, like, how much you want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think Cyborg kind of, because he got really good at wrestling, and most jiu-jitsu guys aren't, it gave him a big advantage.
And nowadays, like Cyborg talks about it, Wagner talks about it, like the game's evolving. So if you're not like trying to wrestle, or you're not trying to do judo, or you're not trying to do other things to make your jiu-jitsu better, then you're not ever going to be a world-class athlete. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because and I think maybe Cyborg's looking in the back of his mind, what could I do to go at Gordon Ryan again?
Exactly. Dang. You think they're going to fight again?
No, I'm just saying I think as a competitor, I think he's looking at, because who else are you going to look at? You're going to look at the top guys. True. And Cyborg
there's nobody else.
Won everything last year that he did pretty much. So what else is there to look at? You know, so
that's true. I would like to see Cyborg versus Andre Galvao. That would be a good match.
Yeah, but I'd really like to see him go against the people I want to see go against Gordon Ryan, who can beat him, and you know, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe he could go against him again. So what have you seen from like Burns when he trains at Fight Sports? Like,
man, he's like, one of the things like that kind of he and Wagner do a lot is they push the pace on you. Like, they go like maybe like 65%, 70%, but the whole 10 minutes or the whole 8 minutes. And so like it feels like 3 minutes in you're drowning because they're constantly bringing the pressure, and like you may have went like 100% and then you're about to slow down. So like I noticed that, and I try to like do that with my jiu-jitsu even, is like keep a constant pressure regardless of what it is, the whole pace, like keep that same pace the whole round.
So how hard did your family members, did they go with you to Florida, or?
No, my mom lives in Florida.
Okay, your mom lives in Florida.
Yeah, my mom lives in Florida. My dad's family's from Oklahoma, so like honestly, my mom's the one that got me up here because like I think I was going through something. Like I took a little bit of time off, maybe like a year off or whatever, and like she'll call me every day. My mom will call me every day, and she'll be like, "When are you gonna train again? You're gonna train again, right?" And I was like, Mom, whatever. Like, I'm like, life hit me or whatever. I'm doing something else. I'm working or whatever. And I didn't really want to do jiu-jitsu anymore. Like, I just was like, it was a phase or something. And like, my mom would call me every day. Like, when are you going to come back? When are you going to come back? And finally, she just like bought me a plane ticket. And she's like, you're coming back this day, whatever. And then like, I came back. And I even came back and I wasn't training. Like, it took me a month before I actually came back to Fight Sports. And like, my mom would like, when are you going to go back to the gym? Like, every day annoying me. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to just go back. And then that was probably the best thing that could have happened to me.
When was that? Last year?
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah.
Because I had moved. I had, like, my family, like, there was some family issues in Oklahoma. So I moved back to Oklahoma, was just working a lot, doing other things. And then that's when, like, she got me back over here.
Yeah. Your father passed?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know, I lost my dad in 2018, you know, and it was kind of like,
yeah.
It was unexpected, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it happened like that fast. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, that is tough. It's really tough because, like,
it's hard to recover, man. Like, it never gets easier, man. It doesn't.
Exactly. Like,
I quit my job, like, a month or two later, I quit my job.
For sure.
You know?
Like,
I had no job. I just quit my job, you know?
No, I understand completely. That's how I felt. Like, man, like, that was probably, I don't think I've ever felt anything like that. And like, so I got the call, whatever, and then my life was just like everywhere. Like, I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to train. Like, man, like, I got really bad. Like, I started drinking a lot. Like, it was really like, man, like, I almost fell down like the wrong path. Like, I was going down that path, and like, I was just like, I was in a bad place, and like, my mom pretty much saved me, and like, jiu-jitsu saved me because like, I had gave up on everything. Like, I didn't want to do anything. I stayed in my room for like a month straight, like, not talking to no one, didn't want to see nobody, and so it was hard. And then like, my mom just was persistent. She called me all the time, like, you're gonna get out of there, you're gonna get out of there. And then eventually, I was like, you know what, like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just sitting here wasting my time. Like, I could be doing something. And so then, like, that's what happened.
Yeah, it's difficult, man. It's difficult to get over it.
Sure.
You know, people tell you to get over it, but what is that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the worst thing you could say to somebody. You could just get over it.
You know, or move on. What does that mean, you know?
What am I moving on from? It doesn't make sense. But, like, it honestly, like, the start of it sucked. Like, when it first happened, it sucked. But now that I'm like, I'm growing more and like have a lot of positive people around me, I'm becoming a better person because of it. Because like now, like, when I first started doing anything, like, all my goals was like to chase my dad. Like, I wanted to be like my dad, whatever. I wanted to, like, if he did something, I wanted to do it better, or I wanted to be like, make him happy or whatever. And so my goal in life was like always to chase him or always to do it, but do it my way. And so like when he passed, it was like, it kind of like I lost like that guy I was chasing, or I lost that person that like I wanted to be like. And so like I was like lost. I didn't know which way to go. And then like I started like, I was like, man, you don't do it for nobody else. Do it for yourself, and like commit it for yourself. And so like, man, like ever since I've been doing that, like doing it for me, like I've been like being a better person because of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can kind of try to help your mom. You know, that's exactly what I do.
Yeah, exactly. Like my mom, she's like, man, she saved me from a lot of things. She's like, she got me training. She got me like off drinking. She got me like away from a lot of the negative things that were like in my life, that were clouding my life and like putting me down that wrong path. And so like, if it wasn't for her, I'd still be doing those things, and like I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you about jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
So was that bad, huh? You just kind of left all of it?
Man, yeah, I was like, I think like I went back home. So I went back home. I like deleted all my apps off my phone. Like I didn't want to see nothing. I didn't want to talk to nobody. Like I literally like the only person I really would hang out with is my brother. And so like it'd be me and my brother either drinking, or me and my brother like just us. Like that's it. Like I didn't want to be around nobody. And so like I closed myself off, and that was probably like the worst thing I could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to even know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard.
Because I mean, like, the police came to my house, because like I was sleeping. It was like midnight or maybe 11 o'clock at night, and
For sure.
my mom been trying to call me, but I didn't answer the phone.
Yeah.
So I had like maybe 30 calls, and then the Coweta police came to my door, and I saw them out my door, and I told my wife, I'm like, there's the police at our house. Maybe someone next door is doing something.
Yeah, exactly.
So I opened the door, and they were like, are you Todd Atkins? And I was like, yeah, like, how the hell did you know that? There was no reason for them to know who I was.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, they told me, like, my dad had passed away. And so I was asking, like, where is he, And they're saying he's still at my mom's house in Broken Arrow. So they were like, if you want to get down there, we'll take you, or you drive. So yeah, it was kind of a weird situation. But
I know I was in Florida, like I was here and I was training, and like I think I had just got done with a session, and my brother called me, and it was like 10 or 11 at night, and he was like, hey, like he said, hey, he said your dad passed away, or he said dad passed away, and I was like, don't be funny, like, cause like he made joke, but like nothing like that, and I was like, quit being funny or whatever. He's like, no, I'm serious, and then like it hit me, but like it didn't hit me till I actually went back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
so
hard to be away when it happens. You couldn't be with your dad.
I was like, I felt helpless because like my family's all back home, and like I'm here in another place, and I can't do nothing, and like I just wanted to go home as soon as I can, and then I went home, and like then it really hit me because like I seen all my family, and they were dealing with it for about a week, or they were dealing with it like a couple of days before I got there, and so like it hit them harder than me, and like honestly, the thing that messed me up the most is like I should have stayed there, and what I did was like I went back for the funeral, and then I left like maybe 2 days after the funeral. Like I was like, I gotta go back and train or whatever, because like me, in my mind, I'm like, if I keep myself busy, then I don't think about it. You know what I mean? And so I just went back to training hard. And I was like, just don't think about it. Like I was doing like probably like every session at the gym. I'd be at the gym from like 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, all the way to at night. Like I just stayed at the gym, always training or whatever. And then like I had went back home for something, and then I stayed for like a month. And then when I stayed, that's when it hit me the worst, because then I couldn't leave, because like then I was like, I would go see my dad every day at his graveside, and like it actually hit me then. And then like it was just like all that buildup of me avoiding something, it just hit me at once. And the next thing you know, alcohol came in there, and the next thing you know, like it was just like a downward spiral. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I try to hold it comfortable when I'm there. Like my dad's buried at Floral Haven, and
really?
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable when I'm there.
Exactly. I didn't want to leave. I'd go there every day.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, but it's good to see that you kind of been able to, do some things.
Yeah, exactly. I had to switch my mindset. Like, instead of like looking at it like, yeah, of course, like not saying like, oh yeah, my dad died, not saying like, oh, get over it. But I'm like instead of sitting here and doing nothing, or instead of sitting here and like drinking, or instead of sitting here and being sad for him, do something positive to show him that like I made something of myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I took it like that aspect. Like he lived his whole life, and then like, why am I gonna waste my life because I'm feeling sad for myself, or like missing my dad? Like but don't get me wrong, like there's no reason. Like you can feel sad. Like I miss my dad every day, but like don't sit there. You know what I mean? Don't get stuck there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't get stuck there. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep moving on. And I have like 6 brothers, so like anytime I feel like down or like look at something, I just have a picture of my brothers, and I look at my brothers every day, and I'm like if I'm not like, if I can't find no motivation, I'm gonna do it for them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like my brothers are like, I always like, anybody that knows me like I'm a family person. I love my brothers more than anything in this world, and so I'm always doing it for them.
So you think some of them might come down to Florida too?
Man, I hope so.
Yeah.
I know like one of my brothers is talking about it, but I don't know if he's gonna do it. And like it would be cool because like we all connect. You know what I mean? So like I'm here and they're there. Like it sucks, but like it's better for me. You know what I mean?
Now, what part of Florida are you in exactly?
I live in Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. Like, how close is that to like Orlando, Miami?
If to Orlando it's like 4 hours I think,
Uh-huh.
but to Miami it's in like an hour and like 10 minutes maybe.
It's a pretty.
It depends on traffic. Like if the traffic is bad, it's like an hour and 15. But if traffic's pretty good, I could get there in like 40 minutes.
Yeah. So, what do you do out there besides training and stuff?
Man, train, sleep, eat. I work in like on the weekends or like I'll help do privates to make money. Like I'm always doing something. Like I'm like once I leave to go to the gym, I'm either at the gym training or helping teaching or something, and then I don't come home till at like 9 or 10.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, what's the next tournament you think you might do?
Oh, I'm doing Orlando Open in March. I think it's like the end of March. Nogi.
Nogi. And how big is
Um,
that one? I mean, is that kind of just a Miami
yeah,
tournament, or?
yeah, it's gonna be a good size, and I'm going there, and I'm going just to wrestle. Like I want to test my wrestling against like a competition setting. So I'm gonna try to like stand with everybody, and like if I lose, it's fine because I have a goal in mind. You know what I mean? I just want to purely wrestle and like stay on top and try to be like win that way and see how it works.
That's interesting. Now, I know you're busy. You got to get to work, but
For sure,
it's
for sure.
cool to talk to you. I'd like to like have you on, maybe talk about the tournament.
No, for sure. Yeah, we can. Like I need to get a good schedule for you, and then once I get a good schedule, I can come on or whatever. But like I appreciate you having me on. It was pretty good talking with you. I remember when we used to train. What are you, like a 20-year white belt?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I started you as a white belt, and I think what are you still a white belt?
I never even put on a gi, so yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
No, but I know you used to train with like a lot of good people.
Yeah,
though. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Like
That's probably why I'm able to get people on my show because I've been around, you know.
exactly. You would tell me like you never had a belt or whatever, and then you submit me a lot, and I was like, what is this guy talking about?
I've just been around the block a few times. That's all. I'm old
No, but
enough to where that
you trained
is.
with some high level people too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did before. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Barrett and
That's-
some of his guys, and Ryland, who trains Max Holloway. If you ever
Yeah.
watch his corner guy, that's Ryland.
Mhm.
Yeah, just different guys over the
I
years.
seen that thing you sent me actually where Barrett actually uses those little hammers on his
Yeah,
wrist.
yeah. Yeah.
I still didn't want to try it though. I don't want my ankle locks like that yet.
Yeah, it's advantageous if you're going to use your wrists or because that's how the ties when they how you saw Conor McGregor kind of wobbling around after he got kicked
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 times. But
Mhm.
those ties, their legs are all destroyed from getting kicked all the time, and they have like little bumps on them, from
Really?
because it's all gets tore up and then it comes back together.
So yeah, you're
The
just
cartilage.
breaking it down and then it's repairing.
Yeah,
it.
their bones are all like knobby all over the place, so they can get kicked
Yeah.
in the leg and it doesn't even bother them at all.
Jeez.
As where Conor McGregor, he get kicked like once or if you watch the last show I did with Matt Lucas, he's in Thailand and he's lived in Thailand a long time. And he said if a Thai fighter got dropped by those kind of kicks, it'd be pretty embarrassing, because that's just they don't get dropped from those kind of
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's because their legs are all calloused and they can get conditioned to take those kicks. And they know how to block them too. But
No, for sure.
your mom asked, what is your biggest motivation now?
What is my biggest what?
Your mom is on here. She's asking, what is your biggest motivation now?
Probably my family. Like I always like go back to it's always about my family. Like even like I always tell myself like it's like I don't have to be famous to do something positive, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe someone just sees my work ethic or something, or like maybe someone sees me like a native person or a native kid or whatever, and like he's doing what he loves and like he's not famous or he doesn't have a lot of money, but like he loves what he does, you know what I mean? and he does it every day, and he does it to the fullest.
Yeah, are there as many like Native Americans down in Florida as there are in Oklahoma?
No,
Because I know
Oklahoma has the most.
that's something you're
Oklahoma
big
has the
on,
most Native Americans.
Yeah, I know they have a lot, but what I'm saying is there's like a big population down there where you're around.
There's a pretty good amount of Native Americans, but like I don't really like. Well, I guess just at my gym, I don't see a lot of Native Americans training.
Yeah, because I know we're pretty big on that as far as your culture and everything.
For sure. I'm trying to be one of the first Native American black belts. I don't know if it's been done yet, but it probably has. But maybe I can be like top 10 at least.
I think, man, what's that guy's name? He fought Mighty Mouse Johnson. You know, he kind of got suplex and then he got armbar. I think he might be Native.
No, he's not Native American.
He's not?
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
I think he is, yeah. He is a good fighter, but I forget his name. It just skips my name.
I can be the first Creek black belt.
Yeah, perhaps so. I don't know who else Native.
I don't think there's ever been a Native American to win the world championship either, though.
Your mom said you're rising above the statistics.
For sure. That's true. Like, when I go back home, there's like the only person that doesn't drink or do drugs at my family is probably my grandma. Like, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know why that is in Oklahoma. Like, it's not. I mean, most guys that train don't do it too much. I would say, like, it's not anything that ever interests me. But
no, yeah, you see I think it's just like when you go back home, there's not a lot to do, and like everybody knows everybody. We're all family, whatever, and so like it takes nothing to walk down the street or call your cousin or something like, hey, let's go out or whatever. Next thing you know, you guys are drinking 3 days in a row, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember like when I came back, the first time I came back to Oklahoma in 2005, I came back for a few months before I went back to Hawaii. And I had been living in Japan the last 3 years. And I went to my high school reunion. It was a 10-year high school reunion. Yeah, and I just couldn't relate to anybody there. You know, it's just
for sure.
I was like, what am I doing here?
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I mean, like, I love being home. Like, I love the family. I love everything. But it's just like, it's hard for me to be like productive or positive in that environment. You know what I mean? Because like the thing is, like, here, like when I'm here, I'm like pushed. Like, I'm pushed to be better. Like, I'm whatever. But when I'm back home, like, you could be working out or you could be doing something good or you can't, and nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't know why that is, you know?
Probably, maybe, like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, like, I guess just not, like, I noticed here is more like we're always moving. Like, days are always moving. Opportunities are always coming. Like, people are always doing things. So, like, it's easier here to be, like, productive, I guess.
Yeah, especially in jiu-jitsu because there are just so many people down there training.
For sure. And high-level people, too.
Yeah, all over the state. So it's kind of like Hollywood for jiu-jitsu or something, you know?
Yeah, Wagner's in Hollywood, and we're in Miami. And so, like, sometimes we cross-train all the time. And, like, they got, like, really good high-level people over there, too.
No, what I mean by Hollywood is in Florida, is in California. Like, people used to go to Hollywood to the Dreamers.
I see what you mean.
Now people in jiu-jitsu go to Florida, you know? Like,
no, for sure.
So it's like the migration to California for jiu-jitsu is Florida.
Yeah, everybody's coming to Florida. Like, we're always getting, like, every other week, we're always getting someone high level coming in. Like, what's his name? The guy, he got second at ADCC last year to Gordon Ryan, the Tractor or Vinias.
Oh, yeah.
He trains at Fight Sports now.
Hulk.
So, like, who?
Was it Hulk?
No, not Hulk. They call him, his nickname's the Tractor.
Oh, Tractor.
Yeah.
But Hulk had the closest match with him, though, I thought. You know,
what?
Hulk had the closest match with Gordon Ryan, I thought. You know.
No, for sure.
Because he's similar, big, strong.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And he's really athletic, super athletic.
Yeah, better top game. So
For sure.
he had the closest match with Gordon Ryan. And I think Cyborg's kind of looking at that and say, okay, if I can do this and this, maybe I can defeat Gordon Ryan.
No, I honestly think like this time around, like if Gordon was to face Cyborg, it would be like a really good match. Like it'd be really like Cyborg's like from the last time they faced it now, it's like I think it's two different people.
Yeah, I'd like to see
and
that.
he's submitting people too. Like he's finishing people. Like almost every match he has now, he's finishing.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of surprised they haven't tried to do the match again. Like someone hasn't tried to put it together.
I think right now the only person Gordon Ryan wants is Andre Galvao.
Yeah.
And like,
how do you think his match with Jimenez is gonna go?
It's gonna be a good match, but Gordon's gonna finish him. Gordon's too big.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
He's technical. He not only is he technical, but he's big now too.
Yeah.
And
too much size.
It's hard. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think if someone was to catch Gordon Ryan, it'd be Roberto. You know what I mean? Because Roberto looks to finish people, and he's really good at taking people's back.
Oh yeah. He's like Barrett. Yeah, he gets back just effortlessly.
No, for sure, and he takes almost everybody's back too.
Yeah, you can almost see like that's what he's dead set on doing. Like one track mind, I'm getting there, and that's just all there is to it, However I have to.
Exactly.
I'm getting to that spot, That's kind of how he reminds me of Barrett that way, because Barrett's like that with his crucifix, And
he can get it from anywhere too. He gets it from everywhere.
Right.
I see him play close. I seen him. I can't remember. He had a match on third coast. He was playing close guard and got to the bag. That's crazy.
That's what the good ones do, though. You probably seen that at Fight Sports. The good ones, they do what they're gonna do. And nothing you do is gonna discourage them. They don't care if you stop them once, twice. It don't matter. They're getting to where they want to go, and it doesn't matter that you've successfully defended it is irrelevant.
Yeah.
They don't.
Someone that does that a lot too, and he's not from Fight Sports, actually from Oklahoma, is Hunter Colvin.
Yeah.
He used to, I don't know if he still plays it, but he always goes from Kimura trap or some type of Kimura, either Kimura to the back, and like he can, it's coming, and he's still going to take your back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was always really good at jumping on the arm.
No, man, yeah. Hunter actually came to Fight Sports. Maybe it was last summer or 2 summers ago. He came, and he was rolling really good with the high level people. He's up there too, and I think he might come back for a little bit this summer too.
Yeah, with him, when I roll with him, there were times where I thought, if I'm not careful, I might get my arm broke by this guy. If I'm not careful, because he can jump on the arm real quick and rip it,
And he's strong too.
Yeah.
He's strong for his size. He doesn't look like he has that strength, but he's really strong.
Because there's some guys, if you roll with them and you're not careful, they could really.
No, exactly. That's Hunter.
Yeah.
I still can't beat Hunter, and it makes me mad all the time when I go back home, because I beat majority of people, but James and Hunter, they give me the most problems.
Yeah. Well, it's great to see that you're doing more stuff now, and
thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I'd love to talk to you again, maybe after one of your tournaments or something.
For sure. That. Maybe after Orlando Open, we can get together and do it again.
Sure thing, man.
All right, cool. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, take care. It's good talking to you.
You too.
Peace.